early age. I mean, my dad was a logger, and he used to take us up to where he was logging. So like, obviously lots of trees, and yeah, I was familiar. Everywhere we went, there was trees. There was, an abundance of forest, and even more so in those days. So I would say probably by age 7 or 8, I was well into that fold. I was kind of debating between a couple of professions, one of them being a forester, and the other one actually was being a doctor. So I went through high school, and I took the first year university, thinking I would go into med school. At that time, though, with costs and that, I decided that I would go to the Institute of Technology in BC, which hadn't been active that long, but it had a really good program, and the graduates from that university college were well accepted by industry and government. Yeah, there's almost a Dr. Doug. Yeah, the funny part is I actually say to people, well, I'm a forester. And I said, well, I wanted to be a doctor, but so some of them call me, Dr. Doug, a tree doctor. Well, harvesting in British Columbia has become quite controversial in a lot of ways. However, there's a lot of information out there that is not known, but the information that should be known isn't. The forest in BC is renewable and sustainable. So that means renewable means you harvest an area, and it's not necessarily going to be clear cut. There's about 5 different systems, what they call silviculture systems. And immediately, or as soon as possible afterwards, that area is planted, reforested. Now that's the part where my specialty came in. I wanted to see new trees in the ground. So putting those trees in the ground at 2 years old or 3 years old and looking at them, and as they progressed, was really a wonder to me. It started approximately 3 years ago. I was at a campsite in the Lake Cowichan area, and my son James came home and camped over with me 1 or 2 nights. And of course, I guess the first morning that we got up, he suggested, well, why don't we film something like an episode or whatever. And James, came up with the name Branch Manager. So that was pretty well set in stone. There was a total agreement between the two of us right away. And we just started filming around the campsite. Every one of them has been a different topic, a different subject within joining the world of silviculture, or operations that are included in silviculture. I think the one that I think was the most all-encompassing was the one we did in a woodlot. I think it was around Branch Manager 9 episode. In a woodlot around the Noose Bay, BC. Because there was so much in there to talk about, and it was about biodiversity. So biodiversity is a huge topic nowadays, and on a woodlot there is some harvesting. There is also reforestation going on, along with a lot of other things, possibly fertilization, possibly spacing, so on and so forth, and then standing trees. So it is an area where basically the public can go into because it's crown land or government land. There's so many things to talk about there, even the berries on site, what you can do, pick berries, go for walks, just observe the plant life in there. That was That was one I remember the most. Yeah, well, I can think of one incident, and my son James was with me. In Nanaimo, we were just going into a store to have something to eat. We're in the lineup, somebody was in front of us, and then I felt a tap on my shoulder. So I turned around and this guy said, "Are you the branch manager?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Wow, it's nice to see you. I've been watching all your episodes." And so I said, "Well, great meeting you." And we introduced each other, and I gave him my card, my branch manager cards. And he went off, big smile on his face. So that was memorable and sticks in my mind. In the 60s, I became a teenager. Of course, at the time, the big band that had a great effect around the world was the Beatles. And they came to America. I grew up and played the Beatles music with a friend of mine every song that came out. So that was really a lot of fun. And eventually, at one point, I should say, in 1964, the Beatles were on tour in Vancouver. They stopped. And a friend of mine and myself went to the concert. We couldn't get in, and I don't think we had much money, so we stood up on a fence, booth along the fence line, kind of behind the stage a bit. And that's where we watched the concert, which was really riotous, as some of you probably know. And the concert was great. The Beatles only played a portion of what they were supposed to. They finally rushed them off because the mobs, the audience was coming at them. Well, to those fans, I'd like to say thank you very much, and I get the feedback from them, so that is very important to me. And it also helps me. I take their input and I use that. So thank you to those loyal fans. Keep with me. That's very interesting. That happened to be, my mother was a painter, and she painted a lot of oil on canvas, which is what this is, and this is, as you can see, it's a candle. But her ability and her talent was so good that everything was realistic. With candle, she did one of a bald eagle. She did one of horses. She did one of Chief Dan George, Terry Fox, and they were so realistic. So this one would be an example, and there were so many. I don't even know how many there were made. They're distributed throughout my own family, but I admire this one. This butterfly up here. Sorry, I actually, in one of my moves, I managed to punch a hole there, and when I showed it to my mom, I was kind of really worried what she can say, but she said, "Oh, I'll fix that up." So she painted a butterfly over it. And there you are. I think she would be really interested in hearing my episodes if she were here. You're very welcome. Thank you for asking those questions.